We will be covering climate change and how it has affected our oceans. The Arctic is warming at a faster rate than the rest of the world due to the albedo effect, which is how much energy is radiated or reflected. The ocean has a low albedo, but ice has a high albedo. With the ice albedo effect, as more ice melts, the ocean sea levels are rising, exposing more land and water to having lower albedos, therefore absorbing more heat and leading to further warming. A UN article states that the ocean has absorbed 90% of the heat generated by rising emissions.
One of the impacts of climate change is the ocean acidification. It is when the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels, where carbon dioxide dissolves in seawater, changing the pH of water, which then leads to acidification. Ocean acidification affects oceans all over the world. It enables a long-term effect on the environment. It also negatively and immensely affects the marine ecosystem. Marine heat waves. Marine heat waves lead to coral bleaching, where it results in the loss of its vibrant colors and also weakens the coral health. It leads to habitat destruction as it physically damages the kelp forests. This loss of biodiversity and habitat destruction can further lead to long-term consequences by disrupting the marine ecosystem dynamics. These images illustrate the contrast between the conditions before and after the marine heat waves. Pictures on the left reveals the vibrant marine life and how it flourishes in colorful abundance. However, the ones on the right reveals lifeless kelps and the coral, portraying the detrimental impact of the marine heat waves on marine ecosystems.
Ocean deoxygenation is defined by declining oxygen levels in oceans. It is driven by climate change and human-caused factors. As oceans absorb more heat, they become less capable of holding oxygen, and this can lead to dead zones. Marine dead zones is where there is no oxygen in the water. Oxygen levels are so low that marine life cannot survive or thrive there due to the extremely low oxygen concentration, which is caused by excessive nutrient pollution.
The warming of the ocean affects all aspects of our world, but it is mainly detrimental to animals whose skeletons and shells rely on calcium carbonate. The main groups that are affected by this include clams, mussels, crabs, and corals. Since they are at the bottom of the food chain, this affects everyone because it trickles up the food chain. This also will affect local economies that rely on fishing and affect the food supply. Global warming becomes worse by hindering the ocean's ability to absorb CO2. And warming oceans produces demonic acid, which risks human health when shellfish have a buildup. This changes the lasting impact on marine biodiversity. The biggest solution we can do is reducing our fossil fuel usage. The ocean buffers a lot of the human climate change, and it captures 90% of generated heat by emissions. The ocean also generates 50% of the oxygen we need and absorbs 25% of carbon dioxide emissions, and it is known as the world lungs because of how much oxygen it produces and how much it absorbs. We need to protect our oceans by establishing marine protected areas that limit and prevent overfishing. We can protect ocean ecosystems and shield humans from the effects of ocean warming and save the planet by doing this.